between her legs, very unsure about what's going on and where she's at when she meets new people. She's been through a lot in her life. She just got here yesterday. Each time I spend some time with her, it seems like we get a little bit closer. But even as she stands there, she's shaking a little bit. And I feel really bad for Gracie. And this is Gracie. But she's starting to trust me a little tiny bit at a time. See how she just ducked her head there? It's okay, Gracie. Good girl. It's okay. Yesterday her tail was all the way between her legs. Today it's coming out a little bit, which a little bit of progress with fearful dogs and anxious dogs and is big steps with them. So we'll see how far we can get with her in 3 weeks. I'm really good at this with fearful and anxious dogs, and I just feel bad for her. Come on, Gracie. Good girl. It's okay. Somebody didn't treat you right, and they should have, because you're beautiful and you're so smart. Yes. You're so smart. Nobody gonna hurt you over here, honey. Yes. Good girl, Gracie. Good girl. Yes. So meet Gracie. Well, Nicole just came out with a dog, so let's see how she acts with that. I wanted to walk her with the dogs. Sometimes fearful dogs, her tail just went between her legs when she heard that noise. We got Spot here, who is very high energy. So I just want to see how Gracie acts with her, see if she comes out of her shell a little bit more. Sometimes with fearful dogs, you know, she's a little unsure there. So I'm going to have Nicole walk up, keep walking, and I'm just going to kind of walk behind with Gracie and see how she does. Come on, sweetie. Come on, it's okay. Come on. Good girl, Gracie. Good girl. Spot's full of confidence, and Gracie's the exact opposite of Spot. Good girl. There you go. She's picking up the pace a little bit, trying to get a little closer to Spot, which I like that. Day number 3 with Gracie. Making a little tiny bit of progress each day. Today we're feeding her by hand to help that bond grow between Gracie and I, and Gracie and Nicole. Once Gracie starts trusting us a little bit more, it's going to be easier for us to work with her. Gracie's a very fearful dog, unsure, nervous, anxious. So it's slow progress, but progress nevertheless. So that's Gracie, day 3, hand feeding. With Gracie today, we're working on the place command, and she's catching on pretty good, and I'm really proud of her for it. Again, slow and steady wins the race with a dog like Gracie. Building that relationship, that trust with her, letting her know there's nothing to be fearful of. You know, later on in a few days here, I'm going to start taking her into public places and see how she does there. But we're just going to take it nice and easy with her for right now. Okay, Gracie. Bed. Good. Bed. 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 Come here. Bed. Good girl. Good bed. Good bed. Yes. Stay. Down. Good. Good girl. Gracie, we've been using her kibble for a reward. In the beginning, we used some treats, and we slowly integrate those out within the first couple of days, few days, and then it's verbal and physical praise. She's picky. She's a picky eater. She likes her kibble. She'll She'll chew on a hot dog and spit it out. But for the most part, she likes that physical and verbal praise. Good girl. Okay. Good girl, Gracie. What I'm doing is just kind of walking around and then saying bed, making sure she's understanding what I want out of her and just not kind of guessing. Bed, bed, bed. Good. Good girl. Down. Good. Good girl, Gracie. If you could tell with Gracie, she's a little stiff, little unsure, but she's responding, which is good. She's not shutting down, which I love to see. Okay. Good girl, Gracie. You're so smart. You're so smart. Come on. Come on. Bed. Bed. Good. Good bed. Yeah, such a good girl. Good girl, Gracie. Good girl. We've been working with Gracie on the bed command for a couple days now, and she seems to be getting it. I still have to kind of guide her, but she understands what I'm talking about. So then we can slowly work on the duration. Right about now, starting like today and yesterday, we're slowly working on the duration where we're walking away from her and having her stay on the bed. Good girl, Gracie. It's okay. Good girl. Okay. Good girl. Good girl, Gracie. Good girl. Here you go. Good girl, Gracie. Good girl. Good girl. You're so good. Bed. 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 Down. Good. Good, Gracie. Good girl. She's such a sweetheart. I swear. Good girl, Gracie. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. So we were walking down that same bridge and we came across this nice couple, and this young gentleman asked me if Gracie was nice, and I said yeah, she's just a little fearful, and Gracie came right up to him and sniffed him and just started letting him pet her, which is, when I was talking about progress early, this is progress. Even the small amount of progress is huge progress with a dog like Gracie. So this is a big, big step. Good girl, Gracie.
At the park doing working on some off-leash heel with Gracie. Heel. She's been doing really good. Heel. Good. Sit. Good. Sit. Good. We just passed another dog that's barking like crazy. Heel. Come on. But she's doing good. Hasn't been reacting at any people. There's a lot of men here, which is the main thing that she's afraid of. Just their strong appearance usually sets her off. But there was a large group by the pond. We went down by the pond for a little bit. There were bikes, strollers, kids, other dogs, and she's doing absolutely wonderful. Working on perfecting her off-leash heel. Heel. Good girl, Gracie. And she's just having a grand time, especially with all the distractions. She's doing really well. We still have her on a long line just to be safe, especially with all the cars going through, but she's doing a great job listening without any communication from the leash, which is exactly what we want. And she's having a good time. Her tail's up, she's sniffing, exploring. She's not afraid like she would have been a few weeks ago, so we're super proud of how far she's come so far. That's Gracie. At the park with Charlie and Gracie, working on some obedience. Both Charlie and Gracie, when they came to us, had some fear issues. Gracie's fear issues manifested more in being reactive towards other dogs, also towards usually men. Anything that kind of frightened her, she'd react towards. Charlie is a pretty nervous dog as well, and he, for the most part, was doing good with other dogs, and he was living in a foster home with a few other dogs, and then on one occasion he had an incident with one of the other dogs there, and since then he wasn't quite getting along, so they wanted to take him through some training, get him doing good with dogs again. So both of them have had issues with dogs in the past, issues with fear, so they're kind of similar in some ways. So we're walking them together. They're doing great. We're at the park. There's tons of people here, tons of other dogs, so they're learning how to pass people, pass other dogs, and not worry about it, not get worked up, not react to it, which is what we want. Especially with Charlie, who's still up for adoption. We want him, when he goes into an adoptive home, to be calm, and for the owners to be able to walk him and take him places like to the park, know how to handle the situation, and know that he's going to be okay. And same thing with Gracie. She actually just got adopted a few weeks before coming to us. She was in the shelter and she was very fearful, and now she's doing absolutely great. Like before, she would have issue passing that man right there, and she hasn't. She's walking right next to Charlie, who's another dog that she's had issues meeting other dogs in the past. So she's definitely capable of getting along with other dogs and being friendly towards people. Here's another group of guys that were passing. You know, her tail's not between her legs. She's not fearful. She's doing absolutely great. So they both come a long way since they first came to us, and we're super proud of them.